Are you thinking about taking Social Security early when you retire or before you retire? Are you thinking you don't really know exactly where your income's going to come from, or you don't have an idea on how to create an income plan? Well, you're not alone if you, in fact, answered, yeah, I think I'm going to take Social Security early. Or, yeah, I really don't know exactly where my income's going to come from. And the thing is, most retirees don't. They just don't know how to create retirement income plans. And what I want to do today is show some recent survey results that back this up, and then we'll talk about it. When I say we, I mean Tony Shore and I. There's my co-host, Tony Shore. Welcome to the show, Tony. We're
Well,
talking
thanks
about
for having me.
we're talking about how retirees or those close to retirement don't really know how to create an income plan. And I found a survey from Schroders. Now, I didn't know this. This is the first time I'm using it. And I put the link here below for those watching on YouTube, but I'm going to share the screen here in a moment. I'm going to bring up this report here. It's the 2023 U.S. Retirement Survey. They asked 1,000 people. It's kind of like survey says, right? And they're out of New York City, Bryant Park, actually. And they're an investment management company. So they're into this. And maybe keep that in mind when you're looking at this. They have an agenda usually. Financial people usually have an agenda.
Sure.
My agenda today is to talk about how people just don't know how to create retirement income and maybe give some tips on how to do that. But let me bring up this so people can see. And I want to highlight this first question here, Tony, which is how much monthly income do you need? They asked non-retired people. How much monthly income do you need? We did a show on this. I'll put it up above here that talked about how much you need. And it's a loaded question. It's a loaded question because, well, I don't know how much I need in retirement is going to be very different than how much you need in retirement. It all depends on your lifestyle. But they got some averages here.
Yeah. Well, figuring out what your income is in retirement, Dan, your monthly income needs to be, that's why you work with a professional. I mean, it's like Stephen Wright said, there's a fine line between fishing and just standing on the shore like an idiot. Right? And too many people, when it comes to their retirement income, are just standing on the shore looking like an idiot. But you need professional help. At least I do. Everyone knows that, right?
Well, it gets to that in the second part of this question. But if you look, the first part is it says the average, and I'm looking over at it because I can't see it on the screen.
Yeah.
Just about 5,000 a month or 59,000 annually is what people say they need. The millennials say they need a little bit more than that, 5,135. And then those nearing retirement, age 60 to 65, say they need 4,855 a month. So pretty consistent there.
Yeah.
I guess I don't know if they gave them a range or if they just said, what do you need in retirement? They took the average. But then they say, well, how much monthly income do retired Americans actually receive? Right. So they say they need 5,000 a month, but how much do they receive? And what they do receive is 4,170 a month, which is just over 50,000. So they receive 9,000 less than what they think they need. But look at the little bubble here. Those with a financial advisor receive over 5,000 a month. And those with a formal financial plan receive 5,800 a month.
Wow.
Okay, so I got a problem with this because you look at that, right? And I think the inference is, ooh, on average, I get 4,100 a month, but if I hire a financial advisor, I'm going to get 5,800 a month, which I think is a little bit disingenuous. And the main reason is because people that have more money and assets tend to be the ones that hire financial advisors, or financial advisors work with people with money. So, of course, you're going to have more income if you work with a financial advisor, right?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I've seen studies and not done by people within the financial services industry, but by independent, Columbia University. They say, do people who work with financial advisors versus, if you work with a financial advisor, will you make more? And every study says at least 3%. And I know as a fact that just by maximizing Social Security, or just by learning strategies that you didn't know about, you could make up that, difference between 5,000 and 5,800. You could make up maybe 800 a month just by doing some of those things. So I don't doubt it, but that's
Well,
my opinion from what I've read.
yeah, you bring up a good point, which is, I think it's the Dalbar study shows that's more about return. Okay, you get an extra 3% return on your investment
Yes, that's
using
the
a
Dalbar
financial advisor
study. Yep.
than investing on your own, right?
Right. The
And I
Dalbar
get
study.
that. But I can make the case active management and passive management come out equal in the end. Or maybe passive management is actually better. But the real differential, the 3% extra, the extra income does come from the soft things, not investing better, but stopping you from making investment mistakes, stopping you from panicking, maximizing Social Security, avoiding taxes.
Taxes, knowing what you can do to maximize your income in retirement. There are strategies that a lot of people don't know about, and mistakes that they can make that can be costly, that can be avoided if you work with a financial professional. That's
Yes.
why, and it's mainly the IRS tax code, like Social Security rules, IRS rules, retirement fund rules like 401ks, retirement accounts like 401ks, IRAs rules, Roth rules. These types of things have gotten more complicated in that if you work with a financial professional who's going to look at the big picture and not just one little piece of your financial or retirement puzzle, I can easily see where you could make up that $800 a month. But everybody's situation is different. Is that going to be the number that everybody makes that much more by working with you versus not? No, you're going to have different people that make a lot more than that because they worked with you. You're going to have people that maybe won't make that much more than they would have by working with you. But there are huge advantages, though. You are going to avoid some huge potholes that could just tear up that retirement transmission, right?
Mistake avoidance, emotional mistake avoidance, being, talking about, so if you're talking about your financial person and it's all about investment returns, you're missing a big chunk, which is what is Social Security? What about health insurance, Medicare, or subsidies? Taxes are huge. If you're not talking about those things, then you're probably not going to gain more in income. You need to talk about the stuff that isn't investment. It's not all about investments. It's about financial planning, which they
And
do
it's
say
about
a
keeping
form of
people from
financial planning.
losing money, the
Yes.
emotional aspect, because without working with you, and people, if they're self-invested, maybe 2022 happens and they pull everything out.
Yeah. Right.
Then
And
from January of 2023 until about 2 weeks ago, all that upswing, they missed out on probably, or they pulled out when the market was low and they're buying back when it's higher, so they're losing money, and you could have kept them from doing that. So I agree that I think I'm arguing on the case that it really does help to work with a financial advisor. And obviously, Dan, you've got to be honest. You must think so, because you wouldn't be doing what you do if you didn't think you could offer some advantage to your clients. You can.
Well, yeah, absolutely. And that's true. Justifying my fee to help people it's easy when I bring in the soft stuff like Medicare or Social Security planning or investment income design.
Sure.
But if I'm just talking about investing in the stock
Sure.
market versus doing it on your own or the next guy down
Like
the
we've got
street.
this actively managed, stock
Right.
portfolio that I'm going to put you in. And because it's actively managed, you're going to do way better than me. You don't agree with that per se, right?
No, because I
Yeah.
think they're a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
Portfolios, mutual funds,
Yeah.
investment. I mean, there's so many investment vehicles. It's not so much
Yeah.
which one to pick, it's which one to not pick or which things to not do, what
Sure.
taxes to avoid, how to save money in other ways. That's where the value comes
Yeah,
in.
when you have a
But if you
2022 or a bank crisis like we saw, when certain banks fail and you have a year like 2022, it's not like because I went with this guy I didn't lose money, or because I went with myself, I didn't lose money. Everybody lost money in the stock
Right.
market in 2022 because it tanked, right?
And when you get to retirement, which this is about, it's all about income. It's
Yeah,
not necessarily about returns anymore. It's about generating enough income. And if you didn't lose money but your income went down dramatically, that's a loss in my book. So let's switch to the next section here in this, which is Social Security. It says most know that they receive less if they take it early. 72% are aware of that they could receive higher payments, but 44% say they fear Social Security is going to run out. 10% say they're going to wait till 70, which in reality, it's more like 4 or 5% actually wait till 70.
yeah.
It's one thing to say you're going to wait, but most people don't.
Lots
And
of
then
people say that.
40% plan to take it between 62 and 65. So they're taking it early. Most people take it early. And so that's also why you'll see those with a financial planner tend to have more income because they get them to delay Social Security. And I say
Yeah.
financial planners, those that are really doing financial planning, not just investments, are talking about the benefits of delaying, especially for married couples. So we've done so many shows on that. I'll put the link
Yeah.
up there.
Well, you
But
said the stat 44% of Americans say they fear Social Security will run out, and here's why.
Here's another truth. Social Security is dying.
Because that guy's voice, when he says it, you believe it.
it's official. It is.
Yeah.
If it was British, if it was more British, it would even be more official. I don't know why that's the case. But
That was from
yes.
that was from that show. That's actually I found out that's the guy from the show.
Twilight Zone?
No, Kevin Spacey was on the political show.
No.
I forget the name
No,
of it, but
I don't know.
yeah. Yeah, that he made a speech in there. That's a really good that's a
good quote, Tony. You did your homework. You done good, boy. So next, replacing income. Okay, we've done a show on what percentage of your income you need to replace. And there's some rules of thumb that I don't really agree with. I think, spending is different for everybody, but I think it's more of a smile. You start off high and then you tone it down, then you go back up. But they're suggesting in this that 51%, which is the majority, are only able to replace less than half of their income in retirement. When they ask, well, how much of your final paycheck do you think you need to replace? 22% had no idea. They had absolutely no idea. And okay, so that's fine. A lot of people don't have any. That's what I said at the beginning of the show. Most people don't know how to do this. But at least they admit that. I don't know. How much do I need?
Yeah, and most said it was
less
really a lot less than it is. I mean, isn't it typically 80%? I mean, it can vary, but
right. That's the rule of thumb. Right,
yeah.
80%. I think it's less. Overall, I think it's more in the beginning. I think you need all of it in the beginning, but that's just me because I like to spend money early in retirement for my clients. I want them to go and enjoy it while they're young and healthy. That's just a philosophical thing. 32% said between 50 and 74, 23% said 75, and only 23% said less than 50, yet 51% actually have less than 50% of their income replaced.
Right. It kind of goes to show what people think and what's actually happening are two different things.
Right. And this goes to where a financial planner really comes in. Okay, I don't know how much income I need in retirement, or how much do I need? That's not an easy question to answer because it's very different for everyone. But that's where you bring in someone and you pay someone for their time to come up with an income plan for you. That's critical. The investments are one thing, but how much you need and where you're going to get it from and how to create that income, that's critical to successful retirement, in my opinion. And then it jumps to the next section, which is defined contribution plan income solution, seen as valuable and in demand. What they're saying is people want an in-plan retirement income solution. What does that mean? Well, it says defined contribution plans. It used to be defined benefit plans, aka pensions, but those are gone. In fact, only 20% of the people in this survey said they're going to plan on getting a pension. I think it's probably getting lower and lower every day.
Yeah, I think so.
But so what is this? I want an in-plan retirement income solution. What they're saying here, Tony, is, hey, I got a 401k, I got a 403b, I got a 457. okay, I get it. That's what I'm offered. That's the standard now. I don't have a pension. I don't work for the government. But talk to me more about an in-plan income from this 401k. How can I turn the 401k into income? Show me that. And they're saying, I'm interested in that. 82% of plan participants offered one are likely to use it. 55% of those who don't have one or don't know said they wish they did. So people kind of want to see what their income would be from a 401k.
Yeah.
Now, this says 82% of plan participants offered one are likely to use it. I don't believe that. And the reason why I don't believe that is because people can create their own pension. You know, we've done shows
Sure.
on 401k versus pension. And all you're doing with a pension is you're giving up control of your money and getting it back in the form of a monthly payment, right?
Right.
That's what a pension is. That's Social Security, right? If offered a lump sum of Social Security versus a payout of Social Security, a lot of people are going to take the lump sum, just like the annuity winnings from the lotto, right? You don't hear people taking the annuity. They take the lump sum. Why?
Yep.
Delayed gratification doesn't exist. I could do better, so on and so forth. They say they want to see what kind of income they can generate from the 401k. But when you say, okay, we're going to take half of your 401k, we're going to put it over here, and you're going to give it to you as monthly income. Oh, wait, you're not touching anything. That's my money. I want it. I want control of it. I don't want you to give it back to my own money. You know, that's the problem. So I'm a big proponent of generating pensions and creating pensions using 401k money, but it's a tough nut to crack when people see that they're losing control. And people want their cake and eat it too, and we do that. But to do that, you have to take on a lot more risk, and that's the problem. So I don't know if I buy the numbers here on this. I like what they're asking, and I like the direction of having more and more like pension type options in 401k plans. And in fact, in the past Secure Act, they did suggest that they're going to allow annuity or insurance companies to offer these annuity payments within a 401k. And the big reason why they don't is because the fiduciary or the company doesn't want the risk of offering something that can go under or something. They don't. It's some fiduciary responsibilities here, and they're trying to write the law so that they're off the hook, and they can say, here, this is an option. But anything would help to let me just roll the dice and hope I have enough, because that's what people
it's
do now.
one reason why your services are so needed. It's why people need right now to use financial services professionals, because you need a financial advisor or financial planner to create that monthly income for you in retirement. Most people do not have the knowledge or the skill to effectively take a lump sum, which is their 401k or their 403b or their IRA, whatever retirement account they've built up. That's a retirement account. How do I turn that into a monthly income that I know won't run out before I do? And that's the trick for most people. That's what they can't figure out, and that you need experience and knowledge to do. And most of us are only we get one shot at retirement, right? Most of us are only going to retire once, but you'd go through it. I've said this before, Dan, you're going through the retirement process and the retirement income process every day with clients, with people you're meeting with viewers and listeners who contact you saying, I need help with this. And so you have experience taking a lump sum and helping people create a monthly income from that lump sum. My wife and I would have no idea what to do with the money we've been putting away during our working years for retirement, or how to make sure that it's going to get enough growth, but yet enough of it's going to be there each month when we need to pay bills. How's all that going to work? So it's not that simple.
You're right. I do it every day.
Right.
That's my job. But
Right.
everyone's different. And there's no, like, I don't have a cookie cutter. And that's the problem with this. This would be a cookie cutter, like a pension. Everyone gets the same pension at a
Yeah.
company, right?
Yeah.
And so, but it doesn't work for everybody, which is why people like the 401k, because it's more flexible. The employers like the 401k because they don't have any liability and it's all on the employee. Employee likes the flexibility, but they also want that. They want that direction. And so in your case, Tony, I might have a difficult time creating an income stream for you because your wife might want some level of risk and you might want another level of risk. And then you're diametrically opposed to each other. And I have to kind of balance that and say, well, maybe we have to do a little bit less risk or more. And so I do it every time, but each time someone comes to me, it's a unique situation. They have a bias against one thing or they have a different level of income need. And believe it or not, Tony, for a lot of people, I have to increase their income because they're just saving too much. We did a whole show on that. Saving too much for retirement. It happens. A lot of people save too much. They don't need to be doing that and not living like a pauper. So bottom line, I kind of like this survey. That's why I put it up there. Nice infographic, 2 pages. I don't know much about this company, but I don't know the methods. They said they interviewed 2,000 people.
Really quick, can you put it on the first page of the survey? Can you put that back up on the screen?
Yes.
Go back there.
Yes.
I know why, Dan, that you like this survey. It's because, and our viewers, for our viewers, not listeners, they can see what he's put up there. But if you zoom in, they can't right now. But he likes it because the head of this company that did the survey looks exactly like Tina Fey. So her picture is there on the survey.
Yes,
in fact, it looks exactly like Tina Fey doing Sarah Palin. If you could see it, I mean, exact. Like if you look close,
this is why we bring Tony on the show. He adds some.
I thought it was
insight.
Tina Fey. When you sent me the survey, I'm like, why is Tina Fey a part of this? Why is she pictured here doing Sarah Palin? I don't understand. But no, this is a good
link
survey.
Back up for those. I love it. Schroeder's Retirement Survey 2023, U.S. Retirement Survey. Check it out, everybody. To conclude, people just don't know how to create retirement income. You're right. And because they're uncertain about it, that leads them to be fearful. And what do people do when they fear? They either run away or they freeze, which is the opposite of what you should do in retirement. You should embrace it, understand it, figure out how to create a retirement income plan. Maybe employers need to start offering solutions to say, here's a cookie cutter approach for those that just need something simple. But if you're in this situation where you're like, all right, I'm ready to retire, you need to think about something very important. You've been working, saving. You need to now switch gears and figure out how to spend. And doing that, spending appropriately, not running out, not spending too little, not spending too much, that's a very fine art. That's very different than investing. You need financial planning. And you could start by doing it yourself, doing some research, learning about retirement income planning, or call someone like myself, some sort of certified financial planner that specializes in retirement income. And read the survey, or you could just say, hey, I need $4,855. That's exactly what I need a month to live. Tony, thanks for a good show. Thanks for pointing out Tina Fey. I would never have seen it, but now I can't unsee it. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see everyone in 1 week with a new show. Thanks.
All matters discussed in today's show are for informational purposes only.
This show is not investment advice.
Dan Riddle nor Dolphin Financial Group are affiliated or endorsed by any government agency.
Investment advisory services are offered through Dolphin Wealth Management, Inc., a registered investment advisor in the state of Florida.
Insurance products and services are offered through Dolphin Insurance, Inc.
Dolphin Wealth Management, Inc. and Dolphin Insurance, Inc. are affiliated companies doing businesses as Dolphin Financial Group.
You should talk to someone at Dolphin Financial Group before implementing any of these strategies or ideas.